Hey Connecticut, it's Johnny Flynn. There's a lot going on and no one's paying attention, but on Monday next week, we may have to filibuster. Oh yes, we may. There's cases pending in the courts that are unbelievable, and Ethan Book from Bridgeport is working on one right now, separate of mine. But if you can bear with me, I'd like to explain what we're actually talking about. There's a history of the filibuster. Here we go, right here. Strom Thurmond, a Democrat, in 1957, filibustered to stop the Civil Rights Act. A Democrat filibustered to prevent your civil rights. Oh, that's not even the most important ones. That's pretty important. The Democrats used the filibuster to stop every American, especially black Americans, from civil rights. Now, here's another interesting set of facts, okay? Let's go to it. Chris Murphy, Democrat from Connecticut, filibustered for 15 hours on gun control to take your rights of law-abiding citizens away. Two Democrats used the filibuster to destroy your rights. Here's a third one. Interesting. When the Republicans use it, okay? Rand Paul attempted to delay the vote of John Brennan to the CIA. Well, you know what? John Brennan is one of the biggest criminals of all time. So he's the author of the Spygate problem, which our congressman, Jim Himes, as oversight of NSA, CIA, and FBI, is a huge problem because James Comey ran the FBI in Connecticut, went down to Washington to surveil a sitting president. Listen to John Bongino about his well, I'll let you look. We'll do a separate post about that because that is tremendous. But here we go. To get back to the filibuster, Ted Cruz from Texas, a Republican, used it to defund Obamacare. Yeah, because it deserved it, and it's failing, and it's raising your costs for prescriptions while the Democrats collect bribes from Big Pharma. So that's not reducing the cost of insulin to diabetics. And by the way, in Connecticut, they ration test strips, so you can't test often enough to control your blood sugar. They want you to mismanage your blood control so you will pass away, folks. It's not cool. Rationing test strips is what happens in Connecticut. Ask any pharmacist. So when you look at how the Democrats use the filibuster to A, take your Second Amendment away, B, stop the Civil Rights Act from passing, and C, the Republicans used it to prevent John Brennan from becoming CIA director, which would have changed the country in a tremendously positive way. Right now, the FBI is destroyed. 50 agents have proven leaked documentation from confidential files. Confidential informants is Connecticut's problem. First of all, confidential informants were allowed to take over a brokerage firm in East Haven, threaten the owner, and use the broker-dealer licensing and control, leading to check fraud, all through Bank America, whose Jim Himes is primary donor. When you look at the filibuster, we're going to have to go to court on Monday about an incredibly important thing. Well, this is singer and songwriter, actor Paul Hampton. Paul, I'm on a video, so be careful what you say.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm very fine, my friend. I hope you're well. How's it going down there?
Well, I've just hit the lotto, man.
You hit the lottery? Thank God. Someone I know hit the lottery.
Well, no, it's in the lotto of life is what I'm really talking about. Bigger than that.
Well, give us your best line of your most recent song. Go ahead.
How high can you stoop?
That's pretty good. I like that. How high can you stoop? I'm making a video right now, and that's all it's going to say. Your name and how high can you stoop.
No, here's the thing. I'm getting ready to do PSA for all of it. What's happened is, since I've spoken with you, I've been accepted. I made the cut of the biggest international, that's all I can tell you. Just one of the biggest.
Don't say any more. God bless you and everything you do.
Well, no. I'm just saying, you've been such a supporter of mine. I never would, anything good happen would have not have happened had it not been for that short time I spent with you. And you're so embracing, and you're so smart. You really are. And
yeah, well, the Republicans don't. Hey, the Republicans don't agree.
All I can tell you is Melinda Pillsbury is lucky she's not in jail.
Whoa!
I mean, please,
she's. I understand she's pushing it.
Well, I'll tell you how far she's pushing.
Don't talk about her. Talk positive. Only positive.
Okay. Anyway, listen. Here's the deal. So anyway. I want to do a PSA, and I want to do it today and send it to our man.
Oh yeah, well I'm having dinner with him tonight.
Well, let me tell you what I'm doing. And I hate to talk through you, but this is what I've written. Are you the only one you think about?
Is that what a line in the story is?
That's what it's about. Are you the only one you think about?
No, I mean honestly, that's what the problem is.
No, that is the problem. I'm saying. I hate shots. I hate shots of people getting shots. But then I say to myself, am I the only one I think about?
Oh, you're talking about the vaccine? I hear you. Well, did you read about, hold on. Did you read about the clot problem?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. The vaccine, they're saying on a recent thing, is that it causes microscopic clotting. Now, do you know Elizabeth's friend, Azure Priest?
No, I don't
Okay,
know.
and it was a story Frank did. Azure died 6 days after his shots from clotting in his lungs.
Uh-huh.
And now when you read this thing about these markers, they're saying that everyone who gets the shot has, millions of tiny little clots develop.
Oh, yeah.
And it affects other, some people more than others, obviously, right? So,
well, I tell you, it's better than dying. All I can tell you is
it's better than dying, right?
I had both of them. And if you're afraid of that, then you'd be afraid to get somebody. I'll call you in the middle of the street. Look, this is the time not to be fearful, and the fear makes you stronger. That's.
I understand. So say something terrific.
That's not hard for me to do, but I just want to try to put something together. I want to use this how high can you stoop, because that's really you see somebody in LA, it blew me away. And she had a big sign. Everybody CNN jumped on it. Are you the only one you think about? You cannot get a shot, but then are you the only one you think about?
That's what it's all about. That's why the Democrat. Hold on. That's why the Democrats hate Trump. You realize that?
Pardon me?
That's why the Democrats hate Trump, because they think he's the only one he thinks about.
Well, my attorney is right next to him, and I was going to call him today because he was going to the White House during the last several months, 3 times a week from LA, and raving about how smart whatever his wife was, how many languages she speaks. I said she's nothing but a. Easy.
She was the first lady.
Okay, well.
All right, cool. Listen, I'll talk to Frank later today, and I'll get you whatever you need. Okay?
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put something there, and then I will.
Well, here. I would just want you to say goodbye on my post. I'm talking to the legendary Paul Hampton, singer, songwriter, actor extraordinaire.
I hope you said Stinger. Did you say Stinger or Singer?
Singer.
A stinger of a singer, I'd say that.
Okay, he's a stinger of a singer. And he's supporting Johnny Flynn. Enjoy, my brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, brother. Thanks, man.
That was a guy who wrote songs for Michael Jackson, every famous artist you can find, he wrote a song for. So he's a friend of mine, and he's tight with the Democrats, helping me convince them to vote for me. So it's very tricky. But the court case on Monday is huge, folks. And there are related court cases in the Stanford Superior Court that are must-follows. So I want to thank you guys for listening. I'm at 10 minutes. This was about the filibuster, and are you the only one you think about? Because we need to get senators elected that can work with Democrats like Paul Hampton to do smart things. Look at the filibuster, how it was used by my crooked senator, Chris Murphy, to take away your gun rights. It did nothing for the violence. The violence has been escalating since they started it. The safest state, the safest country, by the way, is Switzerland. Why? Because everyone is required to have a handgun in Switzerland. Did you know that? So when you look at the facts, you say, wow, Hitler never took over Switzerland. Why? Because he was unable to confiscate their handguns. So why would they walk into a house in the middle of the country, in the middle of rural Switzerland, and take members of their family away to the gas chamber while they were all armed? It wouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It didn't happen, and that's proof. That's proof. So I got to go because it's 12 minutes and you'll never listen to this, but I'm talking about the filibuster, how Republicans have used it. I mean, imagine if Brennan wasn't CIA director and Himes didn't have oversight over the CIA, my congressman. We're going to talk about my congressman, folks, and the depths that he goes to undermine your rights for his own personal gain from his being on the Intelligence Committee and being on the Finance Committee. He just denied at a town hall meeting having any knowledge of Rostec. That's impossible, folks, because he has oversight over these types of transactions. Look at the airport deal, at the Tweed airport deal in East Haven, currently going on. Himes came from Goldman Sachs. David Lehman is our governor's right-hand man, chief of staff. He came from Goldman Sachs. Who owns the land underneath Tweed Airport? Goldman Sachs. Who has a 43-year lease? Goldman Sachs. Who got $1.5 million from Jim Himes? Oh, Goldman Sachs, his alma mater, where he was a partner. And let me tell you, they did everything that Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, Citibank, and AIG did in the financial disaster of 2008 and 9. And look at the money he took in from Oxy. Look at the Dominion deal. That is UBS across the street. It's under his auspices, his control. Look at the SEC violations in Connecticut. Look at Bernie Madoff and his 500,000 felonies in Norwalk, Connecticut, covered up by Deputy Chief Zecca. Oh my gosh. Look at Bill Maloney, detective of Norwalk Police, lied on the stand 2 days straight. Look at Deputy Detective DeSpagna from Stanford, lied on the stand for 48 hours in a court case about money laundering. What's the outcome? I'll tell you, there are so many injustices in the Stanford Superior Court. They have stayed 200 lawsuits, substantial lawsuits, pending arbitration. Arbitration that was never held. So, When you look at securities law in Connecticut, it is being used to corrupt the system. I went to the state's attorney's office yesterday in Stamford. I was not allowed to talk to Makosi or Forensic. I was denied. They said, give us a note, give us your phone number, we'll call you back. I've left my number for them 30 times this year, let alone this year. Why? I gave them murder evidence in a murder. What happened? They haven't called me back. Why? Because Sean Bogger has the evidence that I have. And he is the detective responsible for collecting it. And there is a trial that will be coming up that is super important. So sorry to waste so much time of yours. The filibuster is important because 60% of the Senate can stop the filibuster, which is exactly what we need to have a check and balance for. Because if they try to take away your civil right or your right to guns, there's got to be a mechanism to control it. There's got to be a mechanism. Look at the upcoming problem with foreclosure in Connecticut. Look at the upcoming problem with Judge Spader, who's a lobbyist for the banks who underwrote those mortgages. Look at the problems that are surfacing and wonder why the court refuses to give receipts. I went to the court, I posted 3 documents yesterday, asked for a receipt, I was refused. This is why I cannot prove the evidence we gave to the court has not been destroyed, because it has been. Evidence I give to the court routinely gets destroyed. How do we know this? Ask Ryan Flanagan at the Stamford Superior Court. I'm about to send him an email saying, again, refused another time a receipt for documents given to the court. They never show up. They won't stamp them so I can prove their receipt. Hold on a second. They are denying due process. This is a judicial misconduct claim. It's actually Article 1 of Judicial Conduct, Code of Ethics. They are required to do certain things to provide due process. In Connecticut, you can't get it, and hats off to the guys helping me fight them, because it's a big fight. You don't want to go to court for a crime you didn't commit and get framed, just like the president got framed. If they can frame the president of the United States, no one is safe. Bye. Have a great day. 18 minutes. No one's going to listen.